Welcome everyone to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show, your trusted source for latest updates in immigration and global politics. You're watching Daily Immigration News, where we bring you the latest updates and important stories around the world. And here are some latest headlines. DHS extends temporary protected status for El Salvador. Gary Hall Jr. loses Olympic medals in California wildfire. US imposes new sanctions on Russian oil, disrupting supplies to India. Supreme Court to decide if TikTok will be banned in the US on January 19, 2025. Biden protects 900,000 immigrants from deportation ahead of Trump's inauguration. President Biden honors 19 extraordinary Americans with Medal of Freedom. Pizzagate gunman killed by police in North Carolina after traffic stop. 14-year-old arrested for bringing gun to Appalachian High School in Georgia. US Olympic sprinter Fred Kerley arrested after confrontation with police in Miami. Trump avoids further penalties in hush money case with unconditional discharge. Meta announces end of diversity programs ahead of Trump's second term. Asian American professor sues University of Kansas for wrongful accusation of spying. So these were some of the latest headlines. Now look into the details. DHS extends temporary protected status for El Salvador. On January 10, 2025, DHS published a Federal Register notice announcing the extension of temporary protected status for El Salvador. This means that Salvadorans who already have TPS will be able to stay in the US and continue working for an extra 18 months. And the new extension will last from March 10, 2025 to September 9, 2026. Gary Hall Jr. loses Olympic medals in California wildfire. Former Olympic swimmer Gary Hall Jr. has shared the heartbreaking news, saying that he lost all 10 of his Olympic medals in the devastating Palisades wildfire in California. Hall described how he had to quickly flee his home as the fire approached, grabbing only a painting and one other item. He had to leave his prized medals behind. He had only a few minutes to escape as embers fell around him. And despite the loss of the physical medals, he also continues to cherish the memories of his hard work. US imposes new sanctions on Russian oil, disrupting supplies to India. The United States has announced tough new sanctions aimed at reducing Russia's oil revenues. These sanctions target over 180 Russian oil tankers and major insurance companies that help ship Russian oil. Indian companies which depend on Russian oil may face some disruptions and will have to look for other sources, such as oil from the Middle East and the United States. Well, this move is part of the US ongoing effort to put pressure on Russia due to its involvement in the Ukraine war. As a result, global oil prices went up, reaching nearly $80 per barrel. Supreme Court to decide if TikTok will be banned in the US on January 19, 2025. So the future of TikTok in the United States is uncertain, as the Supreme Court is hearing arguments that could lead to the app being banned on January 19, 2025. If the court doesn't intervene, the ban will happen unless TikTok's owner, ByteDance, agrees to sell the app to another company. Well, several companies including Amazon, Oracle, and Walmart have shown interest in buying TikTok. However, the Chinese government would need to approve the sale, and it is unlikely to allow TikTok's algorithm to be sold. Biden protects 900,000 immigrants from deportation ahead of Trump's inauguration. Just before Donald Trump's upcoming inauguration, President Joe Biden has granted deportation protection to nearly 900,000 immigrants. This move is aimed at ensuring that these individuals can stay in the country legally despite fears of deportation. The protection gives these immigrants a temporary sense of security while preparing for future decisions about their immigration status under the incoming administration. Well, this is a key development as the country braces for changes in leadership. Next up is President Biden honors 19 extraordinary Americans with Medal of Freedom. On Saturday, President Joe Biden awarded the prestigious Presidential Medal of Freedom to 19 remarkable individuals from various fields, including politics, culture, and the arts. Among the honorees were former Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, musician Bono, designer Ralph Lauren, and also the philanthropist George Soros. Biden described the recipients as people who have made significant contributions in shaping American culture and society, marking the final Medal of Freedom ceremony during his presidency. Pizzagate gunman killed by police in North Carolina after traffic stop. Edgar Madison Welch, the man responsible for a shooting in Washington, D.C. restaurant years ago after being influenced by the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, was shot and killed by police in North Carolina. Welch was a passenger in a car that was stopped for a routine traffic violation. And when officers tried to arrest him, he pulled out a gun, pointing it at one of them. The police shot him in response, and after being taken to the hospital, he died from his injuries 2 days later. No one else was injured in the incident. 14-year-old arrested for bringing gun to Appalachian High School in Georgia. A 14-year-old student was arrested at Appalachian High School in Winder, Georgia, after bringing a gun to school. This is the same school where a deadly shooting occurred in September, leaving 2 teachers and 2 students dead. The student was arrested without any violence, and law enforcement has also confirmed that he was cooperative during the process. The teenager faces charges for possessing a weapon on school grounds, and the authorities are continuing to investigate the situation. Thankfully, no one has hurt in this latest incident. US Olympic sprinter Fred Kerley arrested after confrontation with police in Miami. US Olympic sprinter Fred Kerley was arrested by police during an altercation in Miami, Florida. The incident took place on Thursday night when Kerley, who won a bronze medal in the 100-meter at the 2024 Paris Olympics, had a confrontation with officers. The situation quickly escalated, with Kerley resisting arrest, leading to a physical struggle. His defense attorney has criticized the police actions, calling the body cam footage obscene. Trump avoids further penalties in hush money case with unconditional discharge. Former President Donald Trump has been sentenced in his hush money case with an unconditional discharge. This means he is now a convicted felon under New York state law, but he will not face any additional penalties. The sentence was handed down just 10 days before he is set to be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Trump maintained his innocence during the court hearing, stating that the case was meant to damage his reputation before the election. Meta announces end of diversity programs ahead of Trump's second term. Meta has decided to end several of its internal programs that is aimed at promoting diversity within the company, a move that comes as President-elect Donald Trump prepares for his second term. Among the changes announced was the discontinuation of the diverse slate approach, which aimed to consider diverse candidates for open roles, and the end of diversity supplier programs and inclusion training. Next is Asian American professor sues University of Kansas for wrongful accusation of spying. Franklin Tao, a chemistry professor at the University of Kansas, is suing the university after being wrongfully accused of spying for China. And that's all for today's update. Thank you so much everyone for joining us. Remember, stay informed, stay connected, and we will be back with more updates tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. See you in the next one.